Hello and welcome to FPL Malbo. My name is Andy and I've got my usual video for you today. I'll be taking a look at how I did in Game Week 6 and we'll look at how my team is shaping up for Game Week 7 and my kind of transfer plans moving forward. If you've been watching these videos and you're enjoying them, then please drop it a like and subscribe to the channel. It's massively appreciated when you guys do that. And I'll stop waffling now, we can jump straight into it. So Game Week 6 was a green arrow for me, up inside the top $500,000 again. Before the Newcastle game, I actually thought it was going to be a pretty poor week and going to be a red arrow for me. Was already doubting my transfer plans going forward, but the Newcastle double up in defence has given me a massive boost, and so it's a green arrow for me. 79 points this week. Obviously, Trippier and Botman were the absolute stars. 3 assists for Trippier and a clean sheet. Goal for Botman, clean sheet. Stupinan with an assist. That was really nice. Flecken in goal was disappointing. I had that Everton fixture for Brentford as a decent chance of a clean sheet there. So it's just come away with a 2-pointer, 3 goals conceded. Yeah, disappointing there. Midfield, Mbeumo, Sterling, Rashford, nothing from any of them. Saka, I think, has been a little lucky recently. I don't think he's been playing at his absolute best. Penalties and kind of fortunate assists have been keeping the points rolling in, but I don't think he's an essential hold at the minute, but I'll take the 13 points. Delighted with it. Just felt it was a little lucky. And Maddison, 9 points from him, 2 assists, both for Son. I think Maddison covers Son pretty well. I think Son's a really great option to have at the moment. He's not absolutely nailed as the number 9, but I think he is first choice there. But of course, if Richarlison comes back in, then Son will just move out to the left, and he's a worse option there, but it's not like he's going to be dropped from the team. But it's too hard, I think, to get Haaland, Trippier. I want Salah in, and to have Son in there as well. And so I think Maddison, obviously same fixtures and a really good option, a couple of million cheaper. I mean, he was 2.5 million cheaper when I bought him, had him since the start. So yeah, really happy with Maddison. He is yellow flagged. Saka's actually yellow flagged now as well. I'll talk about that a little bit more when I do my team selection. And then up front, the sending off kind of changed the game there. I think it easily could have been a sort of 3 or 4-0 win. You could have seen bigger hauls for Haaland, and Alvarez only 1 point disappointed. But yeah, the sending off, I think, kind of ruined the chances a little bit from an attacking point of view. But Haaland getting a return as captain is still absolutely fine. I took out Ollie Watkins to get in Alvarez. Watkins scored this week, his first goal of the season, but I'm still not disappointed with that decision. I think going forward, I can see him getting similar points, and Alvarez is cheaper. So yeah, happy overall with my transfers and how the game week went. And yeah, massively efficient as well. 2 whole points on the bench out of 4 players. Chilwell coming on for his customary 0 points with another yellow card. So let's move on to my watch list. And I wanted to talk about Mohamed Salah. Now, I won't be bringing him in this week, but I've got a transfer plan to kind of bring him in probably in game week 9. I think anyone who's looking at wildcarding around there, and a lot of people are, then I think he's pretty close to essential on a wildcard as well. Incidentally, I went through my transfer plan for the next kind of 3 or 4 game weeks on my last video. So if you want to check that out, it gives a little bit more context about how I'm going to try and get to Salah. I just wanted to go through the why, really. So he's returned in every single match so far this season. He's actually only got one goal that wasn't a penalty. But I don't think that's a concern. We kind of know what Salah can do. And his creativity, I think, has been up recently. And Liverpool is such a good attack. They're one of the best in the league. The next two games are Tottenham away and Brighton away. Now, I would not back against Salah getting points in that, but I don't think those are fixtures you need to target. However, game week 9 is Everton at home, and that's when I really want to own Mohamed Salah. Now, I didn't have him in from the start because I didn't think I was going to captain him. I think I looked through the first, handful of game weeks, and I thought game week 2, I think, was the only one that I really looked at and thought Salah's the best captaincy option over Haaland. And so far this week, so far this season, I've captained Haaland every single week. Now, game week 9, I'll be looking at bringing him in. And I want to have a little comparison of the fixtures because I think there are a lot of weeks where Salah is a really, really good captaincy option and therefore can justify the 12.5 million that you're spending on him. So here are the fixtures for Liverpool and City. I'm not going to sit here and just say that I will definitely captain Salah. I think even when the games are close in terms of kind of fixture difficulty, I'm still always going to lean to Haaland. The man has just got an unbelievable record in last season and the start of this one. But I think there were some game weeks that you can definitely look at Salah. So game week 9, Liverpool have the better fixture, but Brighton have been scoring goals for fun. So I'd worry about City defenders, but they're not completely watertight at the back either. So, and Haaland at home is a different beast. Like away from home, he's great, but at home he's incredible. So that one's really close. That's a toss up for me. Game week 10, again, better fixture for Salah. Haaland did score a hat-trick away to United last year, which stays in the memory, but I'd probably go for Haaland in 10. 11, again, is a toss-up, both decent fixtures. I think the week 12, the Brentford fixture looks better than Chelsea. You can argue Chelsea have been poor this season, which they have, but defensively, they've actually been all right. They just struggled to score goals. 13, they play each other. 14 is definitely Fulham for me because City's record against Tottenham is terrible. So Salah will probably be captain again there. And Sheffield United, I think, is becoming a team you actually want to target with your captaincy. So again, I'd probably go Salah there. And game week 16, you go Haaland. I'm not saying I'll definitely captain Salah in all of those weeks. When they're close, I probably end up leaning towards Haaland. Game week 9, it'll be interesting to see whether I commit to Salah straight away. I think if Haaland scores in the next couple of game weeks, then I'll probably be very tempted to stick with him. But that's why I'm looking at Salah anyway. I think I'll be bringing him in for the long run, really, probably up until I wildcard, and then I can kind of assess whether I want to keep him or not at that point. But yeah, I think in all of those game weeks, most of them, I think you've got genuine options as to who you are going to captain. That is why Mohamed Salah will be coming into my team for game week 9. So let's take a look at a player who's on my watch list, who I am genuinely considering bringing in this week and who wasn't really part of my transfer plans. So if you've seen my transfer plans, it's about taking money out of my team so that I can get Salah in for game week 9. And I was probably going to have to take a hit to do it because there were too many sacrifices to be made otherwise. Another player that I wanted was Diaby. If I was to bring in Gordon this week, I could actually avoid taking a hit and I could just bring Diaby in 1 week later around game week 10. And yeah, that looks really strong. I think as an option, Gordon's underlying data is superb. Yeah, it's easy to say bringing a player after he's just got a 12-pointer. But the reason I've got double Newcastle defence is because their fixtures are probably the best in the league. I don't think you've missed the boat on that if you haven't got them. They're still really strong going forward. Burnley at home next game week looks great. West Ham away is a little tough. Crystal Palace at home after that is really nice. He's only 5.6 million and he's pretty nailed. Harvey Barnes was the big rotation risk there, and it looks like he's picked up a long-term injury. they've got other players who can play out on the left. We've seen Isak play out on the left when Wilson's played up front, but I think the likelihood is that Eddie Howe's going to want both of those players kind of rotating so that he can keep them fit with Champions League coming up as well. We've seen Joe Linton play out on the left. He's currently injured as well. So, yeah, I think minutes look really strong for Gordon. The fixtures look great. The underlying data looks really good. Yeah, I just think he's a fantastic option. And because he's so cheap, he really helps me going forward. The only caveat to say, really, is that he is on 4 yellow cards. But I'm not massively bothered than that, I'll be honest. I think if you ask me whether he'll start all of the next 5, I'd say no, he'll probably get a benching in one of them because they've got Champions League and they've got a really tough Champions League group as well. So if he gets his rest because he's suspended for it by picking up a 5th yellow card, well, it's not the end of the world. It's a bit of a worry for me because they don't have a very strong bench, but I think I just have to suck it up for 1 week. I think the pluses massively outweigh those minuses. I'm not 100% sold on the idea of making a transfer this week because I really wanted to leave it 1 more week to have a little bit more data to kind of assess my options. There's a couple of players as well that are yellow flagged for me, so that's something I've got to take into consideration. But yeah, he's a strong possibility. It's the Man City Newcastle Carabao Cup match tonight. I'll be watching that, of course, as a City fan. But I really hope Gordon doesn't play. If he doesn't play in it, then it makes him a stronger option for me. If he plays 90 minutes in it, then I'd be more worried that a benching might be imminent. But honestly, I don't really know who else is playing out on the left for Newcastle. So yeah, Gordon, really good option. So finally, let's have a look how my team is shaping up for Game Week 7. And apart from the possibility of bringing in Gordon, I've got a couple of other headaches as well, I think. In goal, I'm going to go for Flecken. I was disappointed in Brentford last week, but it's still a good fixture away to Forest, although Forest are better at home quite considerably, I would say. In defence, at the moment, I've got Estepinian with my double Newcastle. Double Newcastle I'm really excited about for that Burnley fixture. I think Trippier's looking so good for attacking returns the last couple of game weeks that even if Burnley score, which I think they can, you've still got the possibility of attacking returns there. Estepinian, he got an attacking return this game week after conceding, and that's kind of what you're relying on really with Brighton because they're not getting too many clean sheets, and I think Villa will score in that fixture. My other options are Bayer and Chilwell. Now Chilwell's got 2 0 points in a row. I could sell him this week. He does need to go for my team, but I'm planning on bringing in Doggy for him, and he would sit on my bench anyway. Also, I've had Chilwell since the start, so he's gone up 0.1 million. So if he drops another 0.1 million, it makes absolutely no difference to me. And yeah, Doggy, I wouldn't want to play against Liverpool at home. So essentially, it makes no difference to me whether I make that change this week or next. And I actually think Chilwell will probably start against Fulham. He's definitely a concern going forward. I don't think he's in Pochettino's kind of best back four. But they don't really have any other options this week. I think the most likely thing is with Gusto and James out is that everybody shifts across one. Diazi will play right back, Colwell will move into the centre with Thiago Silva, and Chilwell will go to left back. Because honestly, I don't know who else they're going to play there. Caicedo, I think, is the only other player who has played right back who's available for the game. And he leaves a gaping hole in defensive midfield if they move him to right back. So, yeah, I hope Chilwell won't come on, but if he does, then that's fine. And then the other one is Bayer. I hate ignoring double game weeks. I usually really target them. The problem is that I can see the potential of Newcastle absolutely smashing um, Burnley this week. And if I don't think that Bayer's going to get any returns, then you're just picking him for Luton at home. And they can get a clean sheet in that, sure. But I think that I would rather have an attacking defender who has, more chances of getting attacking returns than Bayer, who simply isn't. So I'm not 100% on that one, but I think that's my most likely defence. Onto the midfield, and it picks itself really. Saka and Maddison are both yellow flagged at the moment. We've seen this before with both of them. I think Saka's been nursing an injury for a while. Maddison probably the same. They don't always finish games. They often seem to be kind of limping. And I think they're both so important for their teams that they're probably just going to play. Now, I'll keep an eye on the press conferences. Obviously, I'll keep an eye on the Carabao Cup, but Tottenham don't have a game. They've been knocked out. So yeah, we'll have to see on that. But I'd really like to avoid making a transfer on either of those two. I would just play Bayer, I think, and I would bench one of them if they were ruled out for just 1 week. United, Marcus Rashford as Crystal Palace. That's a good fixture. Rashford, I'm not looking at holding moving forward, but he can stay for the next couple of weeks because their fixtures are good and I have other pressing priorities in my team. Mbeumo is somebody who I think could go long term. The problem is with having somebody that their points are so reliant on penalties is that you're not going to get completely consistent returns. He has been great for me so far this season, but I think there are players with better fixtures going forward. He'll certainly be in the team for the next few weeks, but yeah, may potentially go. And if I was to bring in Gordon this week, it would be for Sterling. I think it was a mistake bringing him in, simply. I brought him in really on the eye test. It wasn't just because he got a big haul against Luton. He looked like Chelsea's best player. And to be honest, still looks like Chelsea's best attacking player. But their attack is so misfiring. I'm kind of done with it. The other thing is that Sterling isn't an elite finisher. We've seen that before at City. He got a lot of goals in a couple of seasons because he was getting a hell of a lot of chances. Really good movement, particularly around the box, I think, getting himself into good positions. And he'll miss a lot of those chances. He's better when he's reactive, I think, rather than having time to think about it. But yeah, he's been a big disappointment since I brought him in. And I think downgrading to Gordon instantly frees up a load of money, makes it way easier to get Salah. I prefer the fixtures for Newcastle going forward because I think Chelsea's good run of fixtures are coming to an end. So yeah, most likely to be out if I make a change will be Raheem Sterling. And then up front, Wolves away, I think is still a decent fixture for City. Wolves have been better than I expected this season, but still haven't exactly picked up big points. Haaland will have the captaincy. I've got the vice captaincy on Saka for that Bournemouth fixture at the moment, but that could potentially change depending on the kind of injury news that we get. So that's it for my team selection video for Game Week 7. If you've enjoyed it, then please give it a like. Let me know in the comments what you think of my kind of transfer plans moving forward. And if you're enjoying these videos, I'm doing them every week. So subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it when you guys do that. I'll leave it there for now, and I'll see you on another video.